If you are not 18 years or older, this video content is not intended for you. Hi everyone, this is Ida of Created to Create. Welcome back to my channel. I was organizing my craft room yesterday, so I discovered something. And I was just kind of going through drawers and reorganizing my stickles and just different things like that. Trying to get a little bit more organized because half the time I can't find things. And I opened a drawer where I had all the Nuvo embellishment mousse and the Inca Gold rub embellishment. It's like a rub. It's almost like the Nuvo mousse, but it gives a metallic shine to anything that you're doing depending on the color that you have. And I have several. Like here's a bunch, guys. I have several, some that I have purchased myself, some that some of my friends have gifted me. Sabrina, the S Factor Studio, she's gifted me some. I have two real pretty colors here that Sabrina gifted me. So I have plenty of these. I'm going to say I probably have about 10 jars, and that may not be a lot to some people, but as far as this goes, that is a lot. So as I was going through my containers, when I open them up, they are hard as a rock. Like here's another one that I didn't do because I want you guys to see. That's as hard as a rock. And that's the way all of these were. And so I went on YouTube looking to see some videos, and I did find a couple, and a couple different ways that people were reconstituting their mousses or their rubs. And one of them was using it's a Sculpey clay softener, and that seemed to be working for her. Then another water and the Sculpey softener. But when you use water, make sure it's bottled water. And then what's her name? Lindsay, the Frugal Crafter. She was using, and I don't think she was doing this, but she was talking about paint and what glycerin was good for. And what glycerin is good for is to keep the moisture in your paints and different, to like kind of to extend the shelf life. So I did order some glycerin. It's not here yet. I will link it in the description box. But I want to share with you what I did to mine because I was going to throw them out, guys. I didn't know if I wanted to just bag them up and send them to whatever company made them and say, okay, now what do I do with them? Or just throw them in the garbage. So I kind of looked around, and I didn't do the Sculpey clay softener, even though it worked, because I kind of I don't want to add other stuff that's not really for this, but I know glycerin is something that keeps something more fluid like, because I used to use it in cake decorating, like for chocolate and stuff like that, or some of my dyes. So I ordered some, and that's what I'm going to do. But I'm going to show you what I did for now. The only thing I did for now is I got some bottled water and I poured it into the little pots, which is the one I just took out. Okay, this one. All I did was open it up. I poured some water in there, and if you pour too much, that's okay. See, that's quite a bit, because it's not going to do anything but maybe soften it up just a little bit where I can break it up, because that's as hard as a rock right now. And when I would try to use it, I would spray it with water and I would rub it a little bit, and I would get a little bit so I could rub it on something. But, it just, it would dry up really quickly, and I would have to spray it again and rub again and try and use it. So I kind of got tired of that. And so I added water to the pots, and then I added a piece of plastic wrap. It can be the cling one or just the regular Glad cling wrap. And I just put it on top, and I closed it back up and left it for a little while Some of them I left overnight because, it was late when I started working on these. But the ones I started doing earlier in the evening, those I was able to complete. And I'm just going to trim around this because this is something that I'm going to leave on there permanently. So I don't want it to be so much. So there it is. And I just kind of left it alone for a little bit, but this is as hard as a rock, like I said. So I'm going to show you what I did to them. And I don't know what these are going for, but I know they're at least from $6 to $8 a pot. So I'm going to show you what I did. This one, I put a little bit too much water in, but I still like it because it's still going to dry up some more. Like if I wanted it to dry out, all I had to do was take off, just leave it open for a little bit, and it would start to the water would start to dry up. So this one is kind of soupy on top, but when you mix it up, it gets a little thicker. So you can see the thickness. Like it's not gonna just run off my spatula like water would. And this one I did try to use I tried to mix it like with some type of mixing tool that is for coffee that my friend Mig, I'm sorry Mig, gave me to whip like coffees to make them lather or froth. And it wasn't strong enough. It kept stopping. So, but I was able to do a little bit. So I got this one pretty smooth. And before I wasn't able to use it, let me find a scrap piece of paper. Before I wasn't able to use it, and now I can just, see, dip my hand into there. It's really smooth. And I'm able to use it. Like it went from being hard rock to this. So as soon as my glycerin comes in, I'm going to add probably about 12 drops of that. 10 to 12 drops just to keep it moist. But it went, like I said, from being like a solid rock to this creamy like that. So if you had some kind of small immersion mixer or like they use for baking and stuff, you could probably get these as creamy as they were when you first got them. But I don't have that, so, but this is good enough for me. So there's one. Like I was literally going to throw all these away, guys, or send them back to the company, because I feel like when we pay for these things, I've had them a while, but I think they should come better. The lid should be better, or something should be better where they don't dry out like that. Because look at all these I would have to throw away. That would be at least a couple $100 worth of product I would have to throw away. My favorite one is the red one, and a lot of these guys are still pretty new, still pretty full. Look at the red one. And actually, I'm not even going to stick my spatula in there. I'm just going to stick my finger in there so you guys can see that. And this one has a little bit less water, but it's still, see, I can still pick it up. It's got less water, so it just depends on how you want to do it. But I can go on here and I can spread it. You're leaving? Yeah, they don't connect. Look at that. And I can reuse, and I can use it now. Like seriously, I was going to throw all this away. So I love that. When the glycerin does come in again, I'm going to add it to all of these because I want to make sure that they don't dry up again. So you're not going to get them to be as smooth, a smooth paste or creamy as when you originally bought them, but you are going to get them to where you can use them. The lumps will come out when you're rubbing them on your project. So, but just make sure to leave the plastic wrap on there, because if you don't, then they're going to dry out again. And even if you don't add the glycerin to them, at least add the water and put the plastic wrap. So I've got all of mine back to where I can use them. So you can see the moisture in there. I would have been really upset if I had to have thrown all these away. So you can find anything on YouTube, you guys. You just got to look. So I did all of these. Which one's the one we just added water to? This one. All of these are already done. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that I already fixed that I can use now. And I still have 3 or 4 more that I still have to do. Another one of the things that dried out on me was the Cosmic Shimmer. Cosmic Shimmer is like $13 a bottle. I only have 4, and I didn't use them. I used them, but only a little bit. Like if I buy something, look at my hands. You can tell that stuff is working now. See how my hand is. When you buy something like this, like we don't put it on everything until we use up the bottle. We're working on a project, we put it on that project, then we put it away, and who knows when we're going to use it again. We don't just go to town on everything and use it. So this was one of the things that was as hard as a rock as well. And I did the same thing. I added the bottled water, and I am going to add the glycerin to these because I already ordered it. Like I said, you don't have to, but kind of to avoid it getting hard again, it kind of extends the shelf life on it. It keeps it moist. So I'm going to use this again. Let me see if I can find a spot. And this was really, really hard as well. And now I can, see, I can just pick it up with my, it does have a sponge in it, but I'm not going to use the sponge. And then I'm going to rub it over this pink, I guess. And I can rub it on there. And that's what that does. It's just a shimmer. See how pretty that is? So now I'm able to use it. Look at my finger. See how pretty that is? I hope you can see it. It's really, really pretty. So I was able to rehydrate these and able to use them now because, like I said, these are like $13 a bottle. And so that's quite a bit. But these come with the sponge in the lid. Let me see. They come with a sponge in the lid that you dab it into the shimmer, and then you rub that on your project. But I was able to rehydrate or reconstitute all of my the Cosmic Shimmer and my Nuvo mousse and the Inca Gold or Viva rub. So I was able to save all of those guys because I do have some that don't dry out. I have these Bow Bunny ones as well too, and I believe these dry out as well. So I'm going to try doing the same thing to these because, these are really pretty colors. I believe this one is still brand new. I haven't even used it, and they'll dry out just by sitting on your shelf or in the drawer or whatever. So I'm going to do the same to these, but I just want to pass this information along because I know I'm not the only one that has the problem with this. So all it is that I'm adding is just bottled water, putting a piece of plastic wrap over it after I do that, and from here on out, after you fix them. And I just took my little spatula, or you can take the end of a blunt object that's flat, or like if you have a small masher, I use the bottom of this to kind of break up the clumps that were in there and trying to get it as smooth as I possibly could. Like I said, you're not going to get it the way it was before unless you use some kind of immersion blender to get it creamy like that, but you are going to get it to where you can use it. And even it has small clumps, when you're rubbing it on your project, that is going to come out. It's going to rub out. So you're not going to have like a clump of anything on your projects. But these are the two that I use. This one more was to break it apart, and then this one was more to mash the clumps and make them powdery, or as powdery and smooth as I could. But that's all that I did, guys. I hope that this helps someone because, like I said, I know a bunch of us have these products, and I'm sure some of us have thrown them out thinking, there's nothing we can do with them, but you can reconstitute them with just water. I'm going to link the glycerin that I ordered for myself to put in all my products because I really like these products, but I don't have to use them I don't want to have to use them on every project so they don't dry up like that. So I'm going to add the glycerin to them and leave the saran wrap on there, and I shouldn't have any more problems. But if I do, I'll give you an update on it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope everyone is having a great day and God bless. Bye.